The Ohio River. Its broad shoulders once carried the settlers of an ever-expanding young republic. Opportunity was fueled by freedom, and opportunity seemed limitless. A highway to the promised land, the river called to many. But as the Greek philosopher Heraclitus once observed, no man ever steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man.
Harriet! Harriet Weaver! Harriet!
Coming, Mother! Here I am, Mother.
Where have you been, daughter?
I wished one last walk in the garden, Mother.
Just as with all your brothers and sisters. So similar, yet so different.
Not so different, Mother. I'll soon be 17, the same age as when you married Father.
Those were different times.
Nothing changes, Mother.
Where is your father?
26 years in the county, 11 of it on this spot. Feels strange to be leaving.
You're no different than anyone else, Jacob Weaver. The entire country is restless and moving.
Never seen it like this, though.
Well, that's because when we were younger, we were too busy being a part of it to notice. Who's buying the place?
An inquisitive fellow. Newspaperman.
A newspaperman. Instead of spreading manure in the fields, he's going to do it in the press. Where are you moving?
9 miles distant, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville? Jacob, there's nobody in Jacksonville.
I disagree. 11 families, a milliner, a mantua maker, 2 shoemakers, a blacksmith, and a tailor.
You've prospered here, Jacob Weaver. Now look about you. What was once wilderness is now prosperity. And you did all of that. Why the need to move?
I can't take care of the place anymore. Most of my children are grown. They've got families of their own. My youngest daughter's still with us. She can take care of her mother.
How is Mrs. Weaver?
Charlotte always puts on a brave face. But with 2 attacks of the palsy, there's very little she can do anymore. The time has come to start anew.
Honora, hurry your brother along. We need to be vacating this room and getting down to the boat.
He's moving very slow today, Mother.
When we reunite with your father, he'll be putting the speed of lightning in you if you don't listen to your older sister. No more rental rooms and no more landlords. Your father's new job in the canal has ensured that. Time for us all to be together again. Good paying jobs are hard to find, especially for us. But the canal has changed all that.
What's the canal, Mother?
Something that's paying your father $1 a day. But no one's leaving until I look you over. We may be poor, but you can always be clean. And that you are. Time to be leaving this behind. Down to the steamboat with you.
Yay!
St. Christopher, help my children cross this water.
They on your boat, Captain Wright?
Possible. I have a number of canal workers and their families aboard.
Canals and turnpikes and railroads, changing everything. How long do you expect the trip to take?
Figure 11 down and 11 back.
Speed and thoroughness has earned you a great reputation.
That reputation is from hard work. Man is designed by nature to succeed.
Or fail.
Both fates are on his shoulders, Dr. Drake, not yours. Place that in my quarters and check on the engineer.
I know where he hides his bottle, sir. I'll dispose of it.
Who is this bright-eyed individual?
Dr. Drake, meet Master Pip. Pip, this is Dr. Drake.
The name's Philip, sir. I'm a man now.
Thomas, if you're not careful, he'll be standing in the pilot house giving orders before we round the first bend, and you'll be carrying the baggage.
All right, Philip, off to the boat you go. I'll expect a full report.
Yes, Captain. Good day, ladies. Are you traveling with Captain Wright today?
We are, though currently unattended.
Allow me to offer you my protection while on board.
Such a gallant knight you are, young sir.
Mother, who is that? He must be very important.
He certainly thinks so.
Miss Demond, apologies for my tardiness, but I had trouble navigating the throngs of Ferry Street. I'll have a porter see to your bags if you and your daughter are ready to board.
Yes, indeed, we are, Judge Stevens. This trip gives me a wonderful opportunity to show sights to my daughter outside of Vevay. The world is a big place, is it not, Julia?
And the river connects it all.
Like mother, like daughter, you've taught her and others well.
There are so many new schools springing up in town now. I feel my work as a teacher has borne fruit. The need for learning is never vanquished, Judge Stevens. Knowledge will forever govern ignorance.
Ma'am, a visit to our legislature would convince you otherwise. Ladies.
Ladies, we have the finest goods in all of Vevay.
And Mr. Clarkson, you have the highest prices in all of Vevay.
My dear Widow Moreau, the prices here are fair.
Pay heed to Mrs. Hall. She obviously has a shrewd eye for quality and elegance.
And a propensity to flaunt her pocketbook.
With all the steamboat traffic on the river, Mr. Dufour and I have had no lack of quality goods.
That's a far cry from when I first moved here.
My dear Widow Moreau, the steamboats are bringing us goods from the far corners of the globe. Mr. Hall is doing so well distilling brandy. Nothing here is beyond my pocketbook. Tell me, how have your deceased husband's vineyards fared this year?
I'm afraid adventure has come to naught.
Well, that's to be expected. When a thing becomes dried and shriveled, what else is left? Mr. Hall tells me that distilling grain is the path of the future.
Ladies, look at this fine linen. Mrs. Varon orders exclusively from me, and she is a lady of fashion.
Making another shift, no doubt.
With 38 common shifts and 12 fine shifts, how many more shifts does she need?
Obviously, one more than she had.
Good afternoon, Widow Moreau, Mrs. Hall. Otto, dein Vater braucht das Paket vom Apotheker. Bitte sei lieb, geh lauf und geh es holen.
Kann ich hier was Süßes kaufen?
Only if you have your own money.
Mrs. Detroit, I have the payment for the absinthe we ordered from your husband.
Pond water.
Mr. Hall says people will drink anything when desperate.
Yes, I've heard that about him.
And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Andy Jackson winning at New Orleans, there'd be no 25th state of Arkansas.
You mean Arkansas?
That's what I said.
Well, if William Henry Harrison hadn't killed Tecumseh, there'd be no 26th state of Michigan.
Harrison didn't kill Tecumseh, Kentuckian did.
That's semantics.
Hey, watch your language. I don't allow any cussing in here.
Seems like the right place. Gentlemen, I'm looking for Mr. Robert Bakes.
Well, he ain't crawled out of his bottle at home to crawl into his bottle here yet. Sits over there mostly. You want a whiskey?
I don't drink.
What's this republic come to?
It's coming to greater growth, Mr. Boso. Flatboats aren't the only way to get goods and folks about anymore.
Well, you tell that to John Boso and his brother Joseph over there, along with those hundreds of other boats dotting the river from here to New Orleans. Trading so good nowadays, most folks don't get that far.
How do they get all the goods to the interior?
I don't remember inviting you into this conversation.
My apologies. Just being inquisitive.
The boy's right. You ever see a boat on land?
You ever been to New Orleans? Whole damn town's made out of wood scrapped off our flatboats.
Yeah.
Mr. Bakes?
Last time I checked I was. Who's asking?
The name is Isaac Stevens. I understand you are from New York?
I was. Ain't no more.
I'm from New York as well.
Good on you. What do you want?
Just wanted to know why you came here.
Best sit a while, friend.
Why? I didn't have no choice. My wife decided we were moving here 26 years ago. She and her sister. Her sister dragged her husband, Jacob Weaver, and the kids here too.
I assume you did well, this being undeveloped land and all.
In the beginning, Jacob and I did do well. Winemaking, land clearing. I even had a water-powered carting mill on the Ohio.
And then what happened?
What happened? A nightmare is what happened. My wife died, I got married again. My first wife's sister didn't think too much about that, but I guess she gets the last laugh because this marriage ain't worked out too well. I lost everything. Say, you're mighty inquisitive. You come here alone?
Not exactly. I brought my printing press.
Is that supposed to be a joke, Isaac Stevens?
No, I'm a newspaper man. I'm the newspaper man who's buying the Weaver place. Thank you for your time, Mr. Bates. You more than answered my question. This is for Mr. Bates' account. It's the least I can do.
Husband, where have you been?
One final walk along Indian Creek. The seasons may change, but like us, the creek never does.
Of course not.
Mother, as I said, nothing changes.
You can go wait in the wagon for us.
As you wish, Papa. I will miss this place.
I remember the first time we walked through this doorway.
The time has come to remember the last.
I never knew that a place could be so hollow and empty.
For now. Once it was full of life. Our lives.
Do you have any regrets?
Only that we cannot live it all again.
To the beginning.
It appears I'm interrupting something.
Mr. Stevens, we didn't expect you so soon.
Merely anxious to get started.
So similar, yet so different.
Better placed in the hand than left in the lock. Best of luck, Mr. Stevens.
And to you, Mr. Weaver.
Indiana continued to grow and prosper. The landscape seemed the same, but it was not the same place. After making their home in Jacksonville, disease finally claimed the life of Charlotte in 1841. She and Jacob had been married for 42 years, and the country changed dramatically during that time. While in Jacksonville, Jacob would open a mercantile. Never an astute businessman, he lost everything. Penniless and cared for by his daughter, by 1847, Jacob Weaver was dead. Both he and Charlotte are buried in the Jacksonville Cemetery. Of the two, it's Charlotte's stone alone which is left. Gone, too, is the town of Jacksonville. Only its cemetery remains. Using the printing press he brought with him from New York, Isaac Stevens would found and publish 2 different newspapers. Considered one of Vevay's most enterprising citizens, he would be elected to numerous county offices over the years. The cottage the weavers sold to him in 1839 for $800 would change hands more than 20 times over the next 175 years. By 1995, worn out and derelict, it was slated for destruction. Uniqueness and an extensive restoration helped it to survive. Those who built and lived in it still had a story to tell to those who would listen. Heraclitus was correct about the river. Neither it nor we are ever the same. But he was in error on one thing. The promise of dreams is unchanging. Having the opportunity to believe in your own destiny and to realize you alone are responsible for shaping that destiny is the ultimate promise of freedom. It's the promise of America.